You wanna know who I came with? You wanna know if we dangerous? You ain't hanging with no strangers. Do you wanna be famous? You just want the Lambo so you can go fast. You just want the money, man, you just want the cash. You just wanna know if we dangerous. Do you wanna be famous? Do you want the name, man? Do you wanna stress? Do you want the game? Are you gonna play your best? Do you want the paparazzi all at your events? Do you want the IRS checking on your texts? Do you wanna move like celebrity? Do you wanna do what they do on screen? Do you wanna rule over everything? Do you wanna do almost anything? All on the gram, all on the tweets, in your feelings, every week. Do you wanna ride with some real things? Do you wanna slide on the real thing? You wanna know who I came with? You wanna know if we dangerous? You ain't hanging with no strangers. Do you wanna be famous? You just want the Lambo so you can go fast. You just want the money, man, you just want the cash. You just wanna know if we dangerous. Do you wanna be famous? Do you wanna be happy or do you wanna be sad? Do you wanna be good or do you wanna be bad? ABCs or 1, 2, 3s, however you perceive them. Everything is dope, everything is a placebo. Leaking money, leaking money. Just cash around, everybody wants it from you. Wake up, take a picture, then you back online. Nobody keep it up like all the time. All on the gram, all on the tweets, in your feelings, every week. Do you wanna ride with some real things? Do you wanna slide on the real thing? You wanna know who I came with? You wanna know if we dangerous? You ain't hanging with no strangers. Do you wanna be famous? You just want the Lambo so you can go fast. You just want the money, man, you just want the cash. You just wanna know if we dangerous. Do you wanna be famous?
Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, education, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. My name is Duchess, and this is Dutch Girl Myrtle Beach. Welcome in. Hey everybody, my name is Duchess, and I'm live from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Thanks for joining me. I've been sick with the flu, and I've missed you guys. So feeling a little bit better today, and I got word about a press conference today from attorney Jonny McCoy with Axelrod Law Firm, which is a huge law firm here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I appreciate y'all bearing with me. Thank you, Pam and Dreams Escape. It's good to see you. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Please remember to hit the like button and share this out. This is going to be live. It should be starting here anytime. Again, Jonny McCoy is going to be talking to us about this case that's unfolding. If you guys go to the description of my video, it'll tell you more about it. There is currently a sex scandal that is going on with the Horry County Police Department, and there was an article that was released in regards to this where the department actually accused some female officers of having an affair on their spouses with other members of the Horry County Police Department, and several people did resign from their jobs. However, it has come to light that two of these women have hired Jonny McCoy with Axelrod Law Firm because they say that is not what actually happened. That the captain of the department, Chris Lionheart, actually lied about this and used the fact that they filed sexual harassment charges. They came with their claims of sexual harassment against the department, and it was actually turned on them, and they were vilified for that and forced to resign their position. So this is incredibly concerning. Hey, Clue, it's good to see you. I'm getting there. I'm getting there slowly but surely. Hey, Avi, it's good to see you. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is very important to me because I'm a tax-paying citizen in this town. And listen, I did make a post because I'm thinking, okay, is this why Scott Spivey's case, Micah Miller's case, is this why the investigation is not happening? Because we have 5 people that are having affairs at our police department. Surely that can't be the case. But that's what the news article actually came out with, and you can actually go in the description of my video and see that on WIS TV, where there's an article that says sexual relationships within the Horry County Police Department lead to 5 resignations, and it actually names off Sergeant Tori Lewis, Detective John Kothben, Investigator Kelsey Manamet, Lieutenant Misty Gore resigned, and of course the Public Information Director Michaela Moskoff also resigned after that. And Michaela and Kelsey have actually hired Jonny McCoy with the Axelrod Law Firm, and apparently Jonny has a lot of tea to spill. So I just want to find out what he's going to say, y'all, because apparently this goes much deeper than we even know. So let me check over here and see if I can find where he's actually going to be streaming that from, because I've got to know exactly what's going on. So I'm going to go over here and see if I can find that. And I know the Horry County Police Department is probably, I know that they're not happy about it at all. But he did say yesterday, and I'm going to share my screen because I want you guys to be able to see this too. But thanks, guys, for joining me. I'm sorry that it's a last minute thing. I wasn't sure I was, going to be able to have my voice to. But here you can see this is Jonny McCoy's Facebook page right here. He is an attorney, and this was one of the articles that he shared right here. This guy right here. Apparently he's done dropped the tea to the Post and Courier down in Charleston, South Carolina. And I'm hoping that I can be able to pull this article up. High-level Horry County official was accused of sexual harassment before his abrupt retirement. This guy right here, Randy Webster, he is the former deputy county administrator over public safety in my county, and he was a finalist for the Horry County administrator in 2024. And county leaders ultimately hired Barry Spivey for that position because he abruptly retired from the county November the 3rd of 2025. And that's where this gets dicey, because Horry County Police Department did not reveal this information, y'all. This guy's a 30-year veteran of this office, and he was employed for 36 years. He worked in a building that's named after him. He kissed her cheek and told her that he dreamed about her and called her desirable. Stop it. Yes. He kissed a 30-year-old officer and told her that he dreamed about her and called her desirable. Yes. And that was Kelsey Manamet, who is a detective with the department. She's the one who made those accusations. She's an investigator, and the county forced her to resign alongside other officers amid allegations of sexual relationships among co-workers. Y'all, they hung these female officers out to dry and made them out to be the villains in this story, all while trying to cover for Randy Webster. And According to this article with the Post and Courier, Webster said he was aware Manomet had provided a statement to the county's HR department, but he said he didn't know exactly what it contained until he was contacted by the newspaper. And he said, obviously, I retired because of what I wrote in an email to staff that cited health problems. He said, I'm not familiar with being accused of any sexual harassment. And in response to questions from the Post and Courier, county spokesman Thomas Bell said in an email that Webster was aware of Manomet's HR complaint, but retired before the investigation could be completed. Horry County Police Department, when all of these officers were called to task with an IA investigation, did not mention anything about Randy Webster. And Chris Lionheart, don't think I don't see you, sir, because your job should be on the line because you hid this. And that shit pisses me off. It's a no for me. And see, what happened was back on the 7th, Chris Lionheart put out there was a discovery of multiple sexual relationships within the Horry County PD, leading to 5 resignations. And they basically stated they did an internal investigation back in October and stated that Manomet and that another officer was actually having a sexual relationship and that she was still married. And it turns out, guys, she's actually separated and her husband have not been together for quite a few months. But they made her out to be the villain in this story. And none of the accusations that were put on her are supposedly true. So I just think that is crazy. Kitty Coo, hey, it's good to see you. So will he get that pension if he ever goes to prison? Well, that's a good question. Hey, Rubber Ramada, it's so good to see you. Hey, Sherry, it's good to see you. Hey, Duchess, we got the name of the owner to the van that was there when Paul disappeared. Sherry, that's wonderful. Send me some information. We need to do another live stream if you have some new information on Paul. That would be great. Let me go over here and see if I can find if Johnny is where they're actually going to be doing this. Let me see if WBTW might be covering it. Johnny said he was going to go live on his Facebook page, and I don't see it as of yet. So let me find out if I can figure out where they might be. Oh, I see he's down at the courthouse. So says the press conference is beginning about 3 minutes ago. So I'm just wondering where they're actually going to have that. Give me 1 second. Let me see if we can get this pulled up. All right, here we go. Let me see if I can. Oh, it won't let me take it back. All right, I'm going to share my screen. And we'll just pick up where this has just been taken off at. We'll see where we're at.
And when they finally release, without Charles Perry and all of you guys having to kick down the door saying, why has my FOIA been responded to? Without Mandy, Matney, and Liz Farrell going, what is going on with our stuff that we're asking about in concerning the Weldon Boyd case? Instead, 3 days after they forced these young women and the other individuals involved to resign, forced to resign or be terminated, the words of the chief on WPDE, 3 days later, they issue a press release on Friday afternoon at 6 p.m. So there'll be no conversations over the weekend. Hopefully it just dies down. But at the end of the day, it just feels like there's transparency finally coming from somewhere in Horry County government. And we all took the bait. Even I took the bait. I mean, I'm a civil rights guy. I was like, man, it's firing police officers? I guess I can get behind that around here. Somebody needs to do something. And that was the entire ploy of this distraction that took place on Friday afternoon. And it worked. I've already apologized to both Michaela and Kelsey, because in my mind, I was like, they're being transparent. But then I got it, and then I started looking at the facts a little bit, just like you guys did. And I started getting phone calls, and all of a sudden, these individuals get referred to my office, and I am blown away. What I'm about to tell you, I can't believe that I'm hearing this as an attorney. Because there are attorneys advising these people. But I want you to remember, during whatever it is I'm about to tell you, this is exactly what we're going to allege in the lawsuit that was filed today. Okay? Now, this all started in 2021 when Kelsey and her then husband moved in across the street from Randy Webster. For those of you who don't know who Randy Webster is, Randy Webster, his name is on the building of an Horry County, I think it's the, I never can get this thing right, but it's basically like the community services building in Horry County. And his name's on the building, and she moves in directly across the street with him with her husband. And meets him. Randy Webster, oh my God, I'm a police officer with Conway PD. It's really great to meet you. I'm excited. Love to have conversations with you about behavioral health. It's what I care about most. Love to have conversations with you about the police department. I'm in this. I want to be a police officer. This has been my dream since I was young, and I'd like to talk to you about it every now and then. But her husband lived there, so Randy kept it under control for the time being. Until Kelsey finds out, you guys have all seen her court records, that her husband had committed adultery against her. Everybody got that? Kelsey finds out that her husband committed adultery against her. An Horry County police officer committed adultery against her. Now, 60% of all marriages end in divorce. I don't like to talk about other people's personal lives, but that's why we're here. So unfortunately, we got to talk about all the facts. This was in March of this year that Kelsey files for divorce. You guys ready for the dates? March of this year, she files for divorce. Okay? Shortly after that, Randy Webster starts to realize we've got a single mom of 3 living alone on a single household income now. And she's devastated. Like all mothers who face this situation, and they're forced to dissolve the family and all the security that she had financially or otherwise, and she confides in Randy Webster. And you know what he says? I think I have a solution to your problem, because I'm getting a lot of leeway with this behavioral services unit that we're creating with Horry County. Some might even say, some have said in comments and otherwise, that this entire unit was, once it was starting to get created, at the inception, Randy Webster thought, I got just the person to work right underneath me in my building. So he offers her a job, making a lot more money. And here she is, her whole world's falling apart. She's going through a divorce, and she takes it from a guy whose name's on the building and says, okay, something's going right. And she starts work with him in May of this year, okay? May of this year. March filed for divorce, starts working with her across the street neighbor in May of this year. Immediately, the harassment begins. No longer a neighbor, no longer married, now it's time for Randy to cut loose. And I apologize because I never read, but I have to get some of these text messages right. These text messages took place over the course of 5 months. She was only under his employment and under his supervision and under his direction for for 5 months. This guy was in some sort of form, in a supervisory role or otherwise at Horry County Police Department for 37 years. He did this to her for 5 months. He told her that he dreamed about her. Now, there are only 3 people in her unit. He handpicked all 3 of them. From what we understand, all 3 of them were young females. And he said, you're going to work right next to me in my building, you're going to accompany me to my meetings, and you are going to be my closest confidant. Right? Right away. Right away. What was that, for her? You okay? Was that what you just did there? All right. So right away, he says, I'm dreaming about you. He asks her, do you find me desirable? This was within 60 days of her working for him. He begins kissing her on her cheek, in addition to hugging her. She pulls away from the kisses on the cheek. And the reason we know this is because she texts him, let's keep it professional. Cool it with some of this stuff. And he acknowledges, I'm sorry I crossed the line. These are in the text messages. We're not making this up. The guy knew that she was uncomfortable. He apologizes to her and actually says in a text message, I dreamed about you and we were swimming together in a creek and now I can't focus on work.
Y'all, that is crazy. I just can't even believe what I'm hearing right now. Hey, Ashley, it's good to see you. Thank you for being here, Elizabeth. I hope you're doing good. Again, this is Jonny McCoy with Axelrod Law Firm talking about what really happened with this sexual scandal that's going on with the Horry County PD. He is here to tell you guys that that is not exactly what happened. So if you're just getting here, make sure you rewind to where we came into this live press conference that's going on at the Horry County Courthouse in Conway, South Carolina. Thanks, guys, for joining me. I really appreciate it. So let's continue.
I love this job. Please keep it professional. This is my dream to be working here. She did everything she could. And she even told her supervisor, because she wasn't #1 rank under Randy Webster in the Behavioral Services Unit. She tells her supervisor about what's going on, and nothing happens. Right? Normally, they just come in my office after that, and they say, hey, I got something going on, and that takes a lot of bravery. Y'all ready for courage? This young lady goes in to HR on October 16th of this year, a few weeks ago, and sits down with 2 members of the HR department and starts reading the text messages. It is, and one of them there is transcribing it. It is 4 single-spaced pages. It looks like 10 size font Times New Roman. This is the most I've read in a long time. And it was 5 months. I'm sitting there reading this stuff, and I'm going, this was over 5 months? You had 4 pages of this nastiness? And she does something that I can only dream about having the confidence to do. Standing up to authority when you don't have cameras in front of you, and you don't have a law degree, and you don't have a big network. I don't think I could have done it, even today. I'm here, and I'm not afraid because I got you guys, and Charles Perry, and Mandy, Matney. I got friends in the high places. And I still get a little worried about this Randy Webster guy. I've had people message me, be careful about Randy Webster. She goes in, spills her heart out, October 16th. October 17th, Randy Webster tells Barry Spivey, I'm resigning. Let me say that again. October 17th, the day after she delivers a 4-page single-spaced verbal complaint, Randy Webster tells Barry Spivey, I'm retiring. 37 years, that's the day he picks. Okay? On October 20, I can get these right, on October 27th I know you guys love these dates. On October 27th, she finds out there's an internal affairs investigation, and on October 28th, she gets called in. And it's finally time for her to talk about what happened with Randy. It's finally time for her to stand up for all the other women that are being ostracized and marginalized in positions around Horry County and other good old boy areas of the country. It's finally time. And she sits down, and they immediately look at her and go, who have you been having sex with in the Horry County Police Department? That's what they said to her. At the IA, she thought she was going to, because she reported that Randy Webster was sexually harassing her and wouldn't stop. Make no mistake about it. That's what the claim was. Next thing we know, she is having to disclose her personal life that she has sort of to piece together after her divorce began in March. Now remember, her husband's issue was adultery. He had a new girlfriend. According to Kelsey, he was already dating somebody else. I shouldn't even have to say that. Who cares what he's doing now? They separated. I feel horrible.
See, that is the big problem, is that Chris Lionheart painted this lady right here out that she was having an affair with other officers while she was still actively married to someone. They did not give any of this information. Y'all, this is dirty. And by the way, the owner of Axelrod Law Firm is right here. This is Mr. Axelrod right here. And he's brutal, y'all. He is brutal. He is one of the best known attorneys in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Honey, he'll take you to church and baptize your ass. I promise you. He is one of the best. And I like Jonny McCoy. He's actually a pretty good guy. And Mandy Matney and Liz Farrell with the True Sunlight podcast that has covered the Murdaugh murders. If you guys are familiar with the Murdaugh case, the reason there is a Hulu special is because of Mandy Matney and Liz Farrell. They have also covered Scott Spivey. They have covered Micah Miller. They have covered the Murdaugh case. They are local to me here in South Carolina, and they are wonderful. And they know Jonny personally, and that's why we're here today. So please take the time to like this stream and share it out, because the truth matters.
Because your husband is on the same team as Horry. And that's when they start to make the targeted, I would call it a sex scandal, but a targeted smear campaign against Kelsey Mannamite, so that when the claims against Randy Webster came to surface, that her credibility would be smeared. And it's like this old trick, the old, the witch hunts from like the 1930s, like, oh, if we just say that the woman's unchaste and she's sleeping around, nobody will believe her. She's a terrible person. And read some of the comments on y'all's media outlets. They say that. Well, she should have been sleeping around. She got what she deserved. That was what they wanted to take place, and it worked. Now, during this entire time period, Michaela, without even talking with Kelsey, starts complaining that she's noticing Kelsey feeling uncomfortable, and she feels as though the relationship between Randy Webster and the individuals, the females in the behavioral services unit is...
That's Michaela right there, Michaela Moskoff.
...is looking bad for Horry County Police, and it's bad optics. Those are the words that she kept using to her bosses, to Barry Spivey, to the county administrator, to multiple other individuals. She even told Randy Webster, this looks bad. The back rubs, the long car rides, the scheduling random meetings to be alone with Kelsey, this looks bad. And he responds and says, I've been doing this long enough, I don't care. Her IA was at the end of October. She gets called in November 3rd. And again, she's like, here we go. We're going to talk about the complaints that I made against Randy Webster. You know, something's going to be done here. Because after Randy Webster resigned, she was the one fielding the calls from the community going, does this have anything to do with sexual harassment? There was always smoke out there. So she approaches her supervisors and says, what do I say about this? And they say it was because of medical reasons. So when she goes in on November 3rd, she's like, maybe this is about Randy Webster. And she sits down, and what do they say? Who have you been having sex with in the Horry County Police Department? 3 days later, on November 6th, they were called in by superiors in the Horry County Police Department, and to quote Chief Lionheart on WBTW, let me get it right, on WBTW, they resigned, but they knew that if they didn't resign, we were going to fire them. He said that on the news to you. I mean, it's like they didn't even ask a lawyer. It's like they don't even care. But we're going to make them care today, right? So let's back up a little bit. The allegations that were made in the press release that was issued this past Friday were that they were creating an unharmonious work environment, and that they were terminated, well, that they resigned, which was actually a forced resignation and a termination. They resigned because of our policy on being truthful and transparent at the Horry County Police Department, right? Truthful and transparent, okay? First and foremost, even if all the allegations are true against these individuals, no laws were broken, no code of conduct was broken, nothing. Everything was consensual if it happened, and everything was off duty, which they admitted on WBTW on Monday night. None of this stuff happened at work. Everybody consented. Nobody was really complaining about anything. No relationships overlapped with each other. There was no orgy going on like the press release kind of alludes to. None of that. Consenting adults. And one of my favorite things is once we start, pushing back and we start standing up for these young ladies, once we start pushing back, you guys are like, woof, probably should have printed that, and you go out and do some digging. So the Sun News, where's Sun News? Sun News writes an article today where they contacted criminologist experts and professors and asked, is it normal to terminate a police officer for misconduct, for any kind of personal relationship that they're having off duty? And it said no. Criminologist said, I've never heard of such a thing. Never heard of such a thing. Another thing that was pointed out is how rapid this IA went through and how quickly they not only got fired, but got plastered all over the media. Another thing that is not status quo. But the truth is, there were allegations made against Randy Webster before he resigned. He told Charles Perry of the Post and Courier, I had no idea that there was a sexual discrimination or harassment claim laid against me when I resigned. But then somebody at the county who responded to Charles after several days says, no, he knew about it. Literally. Go read the article from the Post and Courier. They say, no, he knew about it. He resigned in the middle of the investigation before it was concluded. So I guess Randy Webster wasn't being truthful there and have been fired and smeared all over because he lied to the media and said he didn't know about any sexual harassment or discrimination claims. Although he has a multitude of texts from Kelsey saying, you're acting unprofessional, let's keep it professional, stop doing this. She tells him in person. Michaela tells Randy Webster to his face, these are bad optics. He knows that there are people around complaining that he is crossing a line with his subordinates. And yet he still says, I retired medically. And then he issues an email to all, I'm assuming that's to all of the people in his office, saying it's been a really great 37 years, I'm just really tired, and it just weighs on me, and you need to take care of your mental health, and which I agree with. But he leaves out the part where his mental health is probably plummeting because he was harassing somebody who had the courage to stand up. So what really happened? They smeared the victim and the witness. They smeared the victim and the witness. So that when the allegations came to light, because they had to know they were coming to light, everybody sent in FOIAs and FOIAs and FOIAs. They knew the allegations were going to come to light. And so what they do, let's go back to the 1930s and ask them about their sex lives and hope that we can get something on them. And then they said, we are terminating them because they're not truthful. Let me ask you something. Who are they not being truthful to? Who are they not being truthful to? Kelsey to Don? No. Says, Don, oh my God, I'm sorry. Is that why you keep saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, all right, Don, I apologize. Kelsey wasn't being distruthful to Don. She wasn't being distruthful to her ex-husband when she filed for divorce, pretty transparent. Wasn't being distruthful to Tori. Wasn't being distruthful to the police department. She went in voluntarily and told them, we're having a relationship. So who is she not being truthful to? That's why they put the marriage thing in that press release. That's why they put that Kelsey's married and Michaela's married. Because we all hate an adulterer who's not being truthful to that poor spouse who's at home just taking care of the kids. And that's the way it worded, and that's what they wanted you all to believe. That she was not being truthful, I'm assuming, to her ex-husband, who she was filed for divorce from. Never asked Michaela, have you talked to your husband about any issues you've ever had at work, any flirting, anything like that? No, because they didn't need that. They had enough in their smear campaign loaded to fire off that weird 2-paragraph press release, and the damage had been done. And the damage had been done. I got a lot more of these text messages and comments and quotes, but I want to see.
This is crazy, y'all.
Tristan Schaefer filed the lawsuit earlier today. He's going to tell you the causes of action real quickly, and I'm going to take any questions that you guys may have.
Tristan? Yeah. The lawsuit got filed just before we started. It got filed in the Horry County Court of Common Pleas. There is a cause of action for assault and battery. It's the first cause of action. Relates to Randy Webster and his inappropriate behavior toward Kelsey. There's also a cause of action for defamation. The defamation involves the Chief Lienhart.
Yes.
His decision to release sensitive information that he probably should not have released, which I say probably, he definitely shouldn't have released it. I understand that I'm not going to get a whole lot of thanks in this crowd for me saying that it's not subject to FOIA, but that internal affairs report note should have been submitted. It's not discoverable under FOIA. There's actually a case that's similar on point from the South Carolina Court of Appeals from about 20 years back saying that information involving personal lives, sexual conduct in their personal lives should not be released. It's a case out of York County. There's a sexual harassment cause of action. Now, here's one of the problems we have. Some of the claims we filed, you have to go through a process with the EEOC first. Unfortunately, with the government shutdown, that's been unavailable to us. So we have filed these actions saying that we will amend once we actually complete the investigation from EEOC, because you have to go through an administrative process in order to get that done. There's a cause of action for the invasion of privacy when the Horry County Police Department releases information that they should not have released. There's a wrongful termination and hostile work environment. Basically, what we have here is what we believe, based off the time frame and the information we've been able to gather, is a decision by Horry County to whitewash the actions of Randy Webster, and to do so by discrediting these two women here. They have ruined their career. Why? Because they want to protect Randy Webster and they want to discredit them. That's what we have put in this lawsuit. I think that based off of our information that we've gathered, that is the most likely facts that will come out at trial, and that would be our position.
Yeah, so I'm happy to take any questions. What I will say, though, is the lawsuit's pretty detailed, and the Post and Courier actually wrote their article with the complaint that Michaela lodged on October 16th in hand. So it's out there somewhere. If Tristan's okay with it, you guys can email him at tristan@gotaxelrod.com for any and all reports that we have that he feels, because Tristan's the rules guy. So if he feels that we can turn it over to you guys, we will. So you can request that from him. But, the fact that they used this opportunity to say, look how transparent we're being. And you've got a civil rights lawyer and criminal defense lawyers who are seeing cases kicked out in court every day in prelims. I had an officer recently say at a prelim for a drug case that the reason he pulled my client out of the car was, quote, because I can. That was it. He didn't say because he smelled funny, he was acting funny. He didn't say because it was a high crime area. He just looked at me and said, because I can. And the judge threw it out. But we don't have anybody saying these guys are violating people's rights on the side of the road. That's not truthful. That's conduct unbecoming. But that guy didn't say anything negative about Randy Webster, did he? That officer who violated that guy's rights and had the case kicked. It's appalling that they seized a moment of honesty from Horry County police officers. And by the way, Michaela doesn't even work for the Horry County Police Department. She works in the services department, or she's a service provider to the Horry County Police Department through their information office. Did I get that right? So let's get that straight. They say Michaela and Tori hooked up. It'd be like if an Aner police officer hooked up with an emergency services unit in Charleston. They're like, you guys, one of you was married at one time, and was it sexual? Like, what are we talking about here? These people weren't supervising each other. These people weren't working underneath each other. They used this opportunity to say, this thing with Randy could get pretty nasty, but if we throw enough over here, if we throw enough junk over here, maybe it'll lessen the blow. Maybe it'll lessen the blow to come in the Randy Webster aftermath. Why was Michaela fielding media inquiries right after Randy Webster retired, asking if this has anything to do with any sexual harassment of employees? Why was she getting that? It was already out there. This isn't us making this up. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yep. Absolutely.
But in this case, what they've done is they've not only ignited a tremendous fire in me and in my colleagues to put this out in the forefront and make it right, but they've also silenced women across the state of South Carolina.
Absolutely.
This is one of the strongest women I've ever met. She has stopped me 3 times to correct me on names and dates. Like, she's the most honest person it's ridiculous. She's an asset to the Horry County Police Department. It's a travesty. I'm sorry if I got a few dates or names wrong, but I've only been on this for 3 days. If you guys need any corrections, Tristan@gotaxelrod.com will spread that out for you. But this is South Carolina. And we have to say, this may be the Deep South. And this may be an area of the country where the good old boy system still reigns and still dominates.
Preach it, Johnny.
But what happened here is appalling And when I go into court and I talk to a jury, I talk about deterrence. We need to deter the public from bad actions by holding people accountable. If you do not hold the powers that be at the Horry County Police Department from the chief down, there will be no deterrence for this stuff to happen again. Do you think that there's another woman out there with earshot of Horry County who is going to blow the whistle on her boss now? She went in by herself. She filed an EEOC claim before talking to us.
Good for her.
And then you got collateral damage over here, and then the other 4 who we're not even representing because I'm just like overwhelmed with just 2 clients at this point. They took them all out to leave a name on a building.
That name needs to come down.
If I can ask you a few questions there. Eric Richards, WMBF News. Regarding the alleged sexual assault and battery that took place, where did that happen? Did that happen while on duty at work, or did that happen in the community at which they live?
Definitely happened at work. The repeated kissing, the repeated hugging, the repeated advances towards her that made her uncomfortable. At one point, they got in the vehicle, he leans in to hug her, kisses her on the cheek, and tells her, "I love you. I love you." He admitted to that to Charles Perry. He said, "I told her I loved her." And he said, "The reason that I told her I loved her is because I recently died, and I tell everybody I love her." Me too. I tell Tristan I love him, but not in the car when I'm trying to kiss him. And I do love you. But be cool. But be cool.
Okay. So, was there ever a police report made?
No. Yeah, she made one to Randy Webster, who was at the Horry County Police Department. Not a police report. She reported to a police officer. You know what I mean? Who's she supposed to go to? The IA is the report she made. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was reported to HR, which generally is the right thing to do whenever you're, for any of the women listening who may be a victim of this as well, report it to your HR. Generally, that's the right thing that you're supposed to do. And she also reported to her department head as well, which also is, a good thing to do as well.
It's supposed to work, right?
It's supposed to work. And, I mean, obviously, we have the fact that even all the way up to the county administrator would have known about it from
Michaela.
Michaela.
Michaela told multiple people, and these are in text messages.
Wow.
By the way, we also have a screenshot, which is, I believe we're including in the complaint, or it'll be in the amended complaint. Randy Webster used to say, "Hey, Kels, we're going out of town for a meeting." He told her on one occasion, "We're going out of town for a meeting in Columbia with SLED." Blocked off the whole day. They get into Columbia, and he's like, "Oh, no meeting, just wanted personal time with you."
What? Oh my God.
And they drive back. This guy was doing whatever he could to get her alone, and it didn't matter how many times that she pled with him. "I just want us to be professional."
No,
Other questions?
this guy needs to
For
be
your
held
client,
accountable.
Michaela, who had drafted the information regarding Webster's retirement, who directed her to say what was said in that draft, or that issuance?
County administrator.
Was there a reason for that?
What do you mean?
So is there a reason why they told her to print out that he was retiring for medical reasons?
Yeah, she never knew she assumed the reason, but why did he retire for medical reasons and nothing else? I mean, our allegation is the purpose of that was to protect, Randy Webster. And so, Michaela followed her orders. And as she states, I was kept out of the loop a lot on the Randy Webster, what was going on above me on that.
The last thing I have for now is you had mentioned in your statement that all parties involved were consenting, to whatever relationships that were taking place. Are you guys confirming that there were relationships that were happening?
What do you mean? Go ahead.
So there are some relationships going on, but there's also some faults and mischaracterizations in that IA report. If you go to the complaint, you can see specifically what we're talking about is a very misleading statement. There was not Miss Michaela Mosnov was not in a sexual relationship. That's a gross mischaracterization of what actually was reported involving that. And I think that that's actually part of the defamation claim as well. And I want to address a question you said before. Kelsey's department chair or department head, we want to thank her because she actually also was instrumental in going to HR about this. So, yeah, this was reported through her department chair and then to HR, so it was instrumental in doing so. So we want to thank her for doing that.
Absolutely.
So,
Right, David.
Michaela, I'm sorry, when you filed your resignation, was that because they had brought you in, or were you planning to resign before they brought you in?
She had no intention of resigning.
Okay.
I'm just going to say this. They brought her in there and said, you have to resign right now. If you don't resign right now, you're going to get terminated.
Okay.
She said, can I have till the end of the day to think about it, to talk to my husband? No, you cannot. You have to do it right now.
And let's be clear, there's a big difference when you work for the government between resigning and being fired. So this was another offer that you can't refuse. I mean,
Jesus.
people in the comments are like, well, she shouldn't have resigned voluntarily then you guys have never been in one of these conversations. Because they throw around certifications, they throw around reputation, being able to work for another police force. This wasn't a choice, and that's our allegation. There was no choice. No, Michaela was never going to resign from this job.
John, how long have y'all been on this case?
3 days.
Okay, in those 3 days, have you heard any allegations that Randy Webster was having an affair with someone in the rec department?
In the rec department?
In the recreation?
So the question is, have we heard allegations that Randy Webster was having an affair in the rec department? Yeah, I haven't heard that, but I promise you I'll probably hear a bunch of stuff after all of y'all are here. You can go to gotaxelrod.com. We got informational forms, and there are 11 lawyers in our firm. So if you take me out in a car accident, the 10th one will step up, and then the 9th, and then the 8th, and then the 7th. But we are doing this not only to try to piece back a small morsel of peace for these individuals so they can sleep at night and live in this community, and by God, try to find another job someday. But we are also doing this because we know that we are going to get a lot of information from the public. Go ahead.
Who did Michaela have the interview with to be fired? It wasn't the police chief because you didn't work for the police department.
So she went through her IA with, I believe it was HR, and then she was informed that she was fired by, I think it's the county attorney, right?
County administrator.
County administrator fired her.
She also asked for clarification and was not given any because the HR department of the county refused to provide her information about it. They just said, you can either resign or you can quit, or we're going to fire you. And if you resign, you're eligible apparently for rehire with the county, but not in the same position. But if we terminate you, that's not an option.
And the code of conduct would be different. I don't even know if you had a code of conduct.
It
would be different.
Yeah.
Police department, right?
It's different for different things, and yeah, she was not a police officer, so she would not be part of that code of conduct. But we don't think that anyone honestly violated any code of conduct.
Nobody violated it. Even if the allegations were just bold-faced true, and all of this was taking place on the same day, and they were all like going in and out of rooms, and like the press release made it look, it still wouldn't have been a violation of code of conduct. And the Sun News story today, they go over multiple other cases where people were sleeping together on the job, on duty, and didn't have this swift and harsh punishment and reaction. More? Yes.
Sorry, but I do want to clarify. Are you guys denying the allegations that Michaela had an affair with an Horry County Police Department officer? I just want to clarify.
Yeah, so we are denying, and this is exactly what it says in our complaint. We are denying that she was in a sexual relationship, which resulted in an unharmonious working environment. We are denying
clarifying that.
Absolutely.
That's important.
What do you mean?
Was there any type of relationship? If it wasn't sexual, was there a
Are they
friendship
friends?
there? Or was it, you know,
I mean,
co-workers hanging out? What was it?
Romantic.
between her and which one? Why? I mean, in my heart, which has skipped like 4 beats now because you're doing exactly what they wanted you to do. It has nothing to do with the case. All this has to do is more smear. I mean, coming from you. Yeah.
Get him, Johnny.
A female trying to make it in this industry with other people. What do you want to know? She was a friend with another guy? Are you going to put that in your article and bash her for that? Or do you want to know whether or not, like, he made a pass at her? Like, what details do you want?
Have the facts.
Really, the
I can't
facts?
make
Well,
sure
you
facts.
printed the facts without talking to anybody else that these people were in basically a sex-crazed scandal and that they deserve to be fired for that.
We've reached out.
To who? You know, don't reach out to her. I'm representing her. You know exactly where I'm at.
I'm actually going to step in here for just a second.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. You and I can do this all day.
Let's all take a breath for a second. Okay?
You just asked if she was friends with one of the guys. What do you mean, excuse me? What do you mean, excuse me? Move on. Who else has a question?
What we're trying to do.
Go ahead, David. Go
What
ahead.
we're trying to
Go
do
ahead. I'll end it right now.
is
I'll end it right
we're
now.
trying to make
I'll end it
sure-
right. Y'all want to be done? Go ahead, David.
Have the actions of Randy Webster compromised this county's ability to do policing?
Of course it has. That's why everybody's so fired up.
That's the real issue.
Yeah, we understand that. But asking her if she had a friendship and what relationship, it has no bearing on anything.
What we were trying to do is just see why they're saying the things that they're saying.
Well, we told
and for
you.
there to be an outright denial.
We told you that.
all of
We
it.
just told you. We denying everything they're
No
accusing her
sex.
of.
Okay.
Yes, no sex. She never had sex with Tori, ever. Never kissed him, nothing.
Johnny, are you guys asking for monetary or jobs back? I don't know.
Yeah,
I haven't read
go
it.
ahead, go ahead. The damage is part of it.
Yeah. So some of the damages, like I said, some of the claims have not been completed yet, so I'm not going to go into specifics. But yes, we are asking for damages. We would ask that they also get restored to their previous position with back pay. And quite honestly, we want an apology. Because here's the thing. You had 2 people who had a career, and they built their career in this area. And then because of the fact that they decided to not only fire them, but also publicly fire them and smear their name, they can't go get the same job again unless they get that apology. And that's worth more to them than any sort of monetary damages we're going to get.
So I want to ask, when you guys were having the conversations, Councilman McHale, when you guys had the conversations, when you found out that there was going to be some type of exit, their departure, separation from the county and the police department, did you guys, one, push back on, you know, is this involved? Did you guys ask about Randy Webster? Like, did that play a part? And when was the part where you realized this may be a factor into the departure? It may be some retaliation, is what it sounds like you guys are saying.
Yeah, I mean, our clients knew it immediately. They knew exactly what was going on. They felt it in their hearts the entire time. I mean, when you go in for an internal affairs investigation and they say, who have you been having sex with? By the way, it's called triggering, what happened between you and me. Understand? And when I'm reading this stuff and I'm telling my wife about the text messages at night, who also works at Axelrod Associate, and I can't sleep, and then I'm like, golly. Nobody ever asked Randy Webster about his sex life. And there were actual viable complaints against him. By the way, according to the Post and Courier, Randy Webster's married. That doesn't come up.
But did you guys push back when you were talking to your HR and the internal affairs, whoever that was you were talking to, did you guys push back and say, we believe this may be because of Randy Webster? Like, why is this happening? Was there any pushback?
She made a comment in her HR interview. And they were told they had to do the interview, and they were told that it was strictly to discuss this sex scandal. They weren't interested in anything else.
So Randy Webster never came up in those conversations?
Only when she mentioned him. And it did not raise an eyebrow.
You have to think about the dates too. We're talking about a week, basically a week apart, 10 days. All of a sudden they get brought in, start asking about their sex lives. The dates just make, that's the reason that they got brought in.
I also want to ask, because there's been a lot going on here, very tense. I want to ask Kelsey, Michaela, and Johnny, you can answer for them. I mean, first off, I think it's important to ask like how you guys are doing.
I told y'all everyone wanted to know that. You want to speak on that? You don't have to.
Not well.
Not well. No one's doing well today. That's enough. Thank you all for coming.
All right, thanks, guys. Remember, Tristan at gotaxelrod.com for any paperwork or otherwise. I have PTSD and get triggered, so if that bothered y'all in here, just know that that's going to be coming.
All right, that was it. What did y'all think about that? That was extremely eye-opening. I have no idea. And listen, if you guys in chat see somebody that comes in and y'all don't like each other, like just hit the 3 dots next to their name and block each other. Because like we're not here to talk about other creators and whatever's going on. Like we're here to talk about, you know, these cases. And I really like Jonny McCoy. Like you can tell, like he don't take any shit from anybody. And that is streaming on that was streaming on Facebook from him, as well as WBTW, WMBF News. He asked for all journalism, anybody that wanted to share this press conference, to please get the word out there, because y'all, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy what's going on. And I do appreciate you joining me. Aries, it's good to see you. Cash, thank you for joining us. It's always good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Let's see. And Pamela, I know that you don't like Aries' name. And listen, Aries is his own person. He can do whatever he wants to. But if you don't like it, you know, you can take it up with Aries somewhere else, but let's not get into it in the chat here, because I'm not going to allow that. We're here to listen about these cases that are local here, and I appreciate y'all being here. A couple things that I want to show you guys real quick. This is, and we're going to talk about this. This is not all that there is to show. There has been some letters and things that has been shared. And this is how I found out about it, because Mandy Matney posted that she had talked to Jonny and that this was going to be, you know, put out, because again, Jonny is not only representing Kelsey Mennamite, but he's also representing Michaela Moskoff, who is the former public information officer that you saw to the left of Axelrod in the gray hair, because, you know, she was having to field these calls. It is incredibly disturbing that they were literally trying to cover for this guy because his name is on a building. I don't give a shit if your name is on a building or not. His name, in my opinion, needs to come off that building, because it doesn't have any place in this community. This is nothing but more deep-seated corruption. And in my opinion, and this has been discussed before, the Horry County Police Department, in my opinion, needs to be obsolete, and it all needs to infiltrate and be all turned over, and there just needs to be the Horry County Sheriff's Office, because there is too much going on with the Horry County Police Department, and it just makes me sick. And Carla, I appreciate you joining us today. I think it's just because that's your @ name, and you can always change your @ Carla. If you come over to the house, I'll show you how to do it. But I appreciate you being here. Y'all know that's my neighbor. And this is important for me and Carla, because we're tax-paying citizens in this community. And I don't like that women are being put out. Because listen, when this article first came out, the first thing I thought was, oh my God, y'all, there is this huge sex scandal. We have officers that are literally being unfaithful to their spouses and having these inappropriate sexual relationships with other officers. And all this time, we have the Scott Spivey case, we have the Micah Miller case. No wonder they can't get anything done, but it turns out that's not what happened at all. They literally forced these women, listen, if you don't resign, you don't have time to think about it. You're either going to resign or we're going to terminate you. And it was all to protect Randy Webster. And Randy Webster was the county administrator. And if you are just coming into this stream, I encourage you to rewind and listen to what Attorney Jonny McCoy actually revealed about him and the inappropriate things. Listen, they have text messages. They have evidence. They have proof. Even Randy Webster admits that he knows the things that he said to her. Y'all, the things that were done. We cannot be silencing women across this state in these types of positions. She is a very good investigator with the department, and this cannot stand. Hey, Steph, it's good to see you. Thank you for being here. Now, on this letter right here, you can see this is from Axelrod right here. This is where Jonny is an attorney. Axelrod is one of the best attorneys that we have here in Myrtle Beach. And this was the letter that I got sent. And it says, for immediate release, Attorney Jonny McCoy announces representation of Michaela Moskoff and Kelsey Mannamite in lawsuits against the Horry County Police Department, Randy Webster, and others. And I'm assuming others is, which was announced today, Chris Lionheart, who is the captain of the Horry County Police Department. To me, he allowed all of this to happen. He is the one who allowed all of this information, the false information, the lies to be put out about these women that were not true. And this was November the 12th. And it says Jonny McCoy of Axelrod and Associates announced today that he has been retained to represent former Horry County public officer Michaela Moskoff and former Horry County police investigator Kelsey Mannamite in lawsuits against the Horry County PD for former Horry County Deputy Administrator Randy Webster, who just retired on November the 5th. He said it was due to health problems, but of course we know now that probably the reason that he retired is because he did not want there to be an investigation into the sexual harassment claims that Kelsey had put in to HR. She had reported it to all the people. She had filed claims, and that was all hushed. And it was turned around on her as well as other people in the department in order to silence her sexual harassment claims. This suit alleges a range of serious allegations, including assault, defamation, wrongful termination, negligent supervision, and sexual harassment and discrimination. Attorney McCoy, with his clients, Moskoff and Mannamite, will provide further details at the press conference, which we just listened to. And it addressed all of these damages being sought and the next steps in the legal process. And of course, we just heard that, and this was held at 1550 North Oak Street in Myrtle Beach. So y'all, this is, I will keep you guys posted. Chico says, telling you, let me get over here to the comments so I can put you on screen. Music City Mom, thank you for being a member for 4 months. I appreciate your support and thank you for being here. Today's not your day, Aries. Well, you just take it easy. And thank you for being here. And don't let people put you in a corner. Yes, it is very important to us, Carla. And I hope that they bring Chris Lionheart to task too, because he allowed this to happen. Chico says, telling you, it reminds me of the sex scandal that happened in Middle Tennessee. Slightly different, but still. Cash says, pure merits, and ain't that perfect, but a little bit better. Well, I mean, anybody that lives in South Carolina will tell you that the good old boys, they will try to cover things up. And listen, we cannot be silencing women to come forward and report what's happening to them and then to be silenced like this. I will not stand for that. And to know that this has been done, this makes me extremely angry. Hey, Miss W, it's so good to see you. Not Horry County being a Horry County. Sorry, I'll put myself in the corner, but I'm from South Carolina too. It's incredibly discouraging that these officers literally tried to put this on these women, and the whole time they were reporting sexual harassment and they were trying to be silenced. Hey, Ernie, it's good to see you. I hope you're doing good. Cash says, I want to know what it's like to live near Duchess. Carla, is it scary? It is not scary, Cash. Stop saying that. I am not a scary person. Now, listen, here's a picture of Webster, and I did drop that article in the chat from the Post and Courier, and it's also in the description of this video. And Mandy Matney says here, oh, what a tangled Webster we weave. And yes, Randy Webster's resignation is directly related to the fake sex scandal that Horry County Police Department wanted the public to believe. And there's so much more to come. And the True Light Sunlight podcast, Exposing Crime and Corruption, which is formerly the Murdoch podcast, has already dropped their most recent podcast. And I've been listening to it on Spotify. So if you guys have not gone over to listen, they are on Apple. I listen to them over on Spotify. So I will be happy to share the link to their Spotify. I don't know if you guys are on Spotify, but that's where I listen to True Sunlight. And this is a link to their drop that they made today about this particular case. And y'all, it is filled with goodies. So I'm going to drop their link to their podcast today. And I still haven't gotten through it, but this press conference was going live and I definitely had to share it. Let me see. Carla, I'm scared what Carla might say. Hey, Cat's Eye, it's so good to see you. Y'all, I'm still a little bit sick, so I appreciate y'all bearing with me. Yes, it is very messed up. You're so welcome, Miss W. I encourage everyone to rewind and watch this press conference because, y'all, it is crazy. Carla says, laugh out loud. No, Cash. We have a beautiful community and are so blessed to be on the Intercoastal Waterway. P.S. Dutch makes the best homemade bread. Thank you, Carla. I appreciate that. Yes, it is a great podcast. Earthy says, it's okay, Cash. Just be grateful Dutchie doesn't take us all to church. I can do it. Cash says, Carla, but she has a vicious right hook. Carla says, Cash, she sure does. I do, y'all. You don't want to play around with me now. I'm a lover, not a fighter, but if I have to fight, I'm not scared to. I'll swing with the best of them. And listen, this is a little update that I saw. This is what Mandy Matney dropped today. She said, this week we uncovered a disturbing alleged retaliation case at the Horry County Police Department, and attorney Jonny McCoy is helping put all the pieces together. But when CIT investigator Kelsey Mennamite filed a sexual harassment complaint against Deputy County Administrator Randy Webster, yes, the same Webster whose name is plastered on a $24 million building, she expected accountability. Instead, she and County PIO Michaela Moskoff were suddenly accused of being part of an allegedly fabricated sex scandal and pushed out of their jobs. Horry County PD Chris Lionheart allegedly weaponized internal affairs to punish the women who reported misconduct while Webster quietly retired with his reputation protected. And they are talking text messages, bizarre timelines, and another pattern of alleged corruption inside the same department that failed Micah Francis and Scott Spivey. Were all those transparency claims just a smokescreen for retaliation? And is this the final reckoning of Horry County's good old boy network that's been avoided for far too long? And that is the podcast that I dropped in the chat. So if you guys want to go over there and listen to their podcast, I'm going to drop it again because y'all, this is Sunlight Podcast number 123. So I've linked it in the comments down here below, and I will also make sure to link it in the description after this video, because we have a lot to talk about, because this scandal, y'all, people need to lose their jobs, and these women need to have their jobs restored. But how could you ever want to go back and watch and know and go, I mean, they could offer to give these women their jobs back, but why would you want to go back to a department that you can't trust? And it's terrible because obviously these women were good at their jobs. It's no wonder these cases are not getting solved. Look what these people are doing to their own employees. This reminds me once again of the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources. If you guys were here for Tyler Doyle's case, I don't know if you guys remember, but in part 4, I read you guys a long letter that was written by the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources former employees and people that were scared of getting terminated for talking about the corruption that was involved in the department. Because if you say that you're going to speak out about the corruption, the money, the people willing to cover up stuff to keep their position, well, then you're threatened that you're going to lose your job and your position and your pay. This is the same thing we're talking about. Hey, Amy, it's good to see you. I hope you're doing good. I appreciate you being here. Hope you're having a good day. Carla, you got to wrap some more Christmas presents, y'all. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not Thanksgiving yet, but I've already got my Christmas decoration bucket sitting in my living room. And I'm going to be putting my Christmas decorations up. I know some of y'all don't think we should put them up till after Thanksgiving, but I tend to break the mold on that. But this is why we have to talk about these things, because this is the county that I live in. These are my police officers. And trust me, y'all, there are great police officers in this county. And I know quite a few of them. And it is shameful when the captain, Chris Lionheart, the county administrator, Randy Webster, y'all be hiding what these people are doing. And when you have a few bad apples, it makes the whole department look bad. But y'all, not every police officer is bad in this county. But silencing women who have went through this sexual harassment, y'all, that can't stand. I will not get behind that shit. Not a single damn day. It's not going to happen. Let me see what I can pull up here real quick before we end this out. I want to look up something here. And if you guys are late coming in, we did talk about this at the very beginning, but just real quick, I'm just going to show this to you again. High-level Horry County official accused of sexual harassment before his abrupt retirement. This is the guy. If you watched, this was her. You saw her there at the press conference today, Kelsey Mennonite. This is Randy Webster, the guy that was telling her, let's go take a trip just so he could be with her, and kissed her and told her that he dreamed of her and that he loved her. Oh my God, it just makes me cringe. Cash says, power and money, nepotism should not exist in the public sector. It shouldn't exist, period. Yeah, and he got to go retire with his pension, Chico. I mean, it's not good at all. And this gives me the creeps. Like, and look at this text message right here from Randy Webster. By the way, the fault is that you can't help being beautiful and desirable. So guess it is what it is. And then Randy says, so simple. Yes, I should feel that I am desirable, at least in others' eyes. Question mark. Woo, here goes. I am really wondering if I am not desirable. Sir. What the actual fuck? Yeah, when I say there's evidence and proof, there's evidence and proof. This is cringe as all get out. That's her dog. But he says he retired because of health issues. No, he knew he was going to be investigated. And see, they built this Emergency Operations and Communication Center. That is the new 911 building hub. And that is called the Randall S. Webster Emergency Operations Communication Center. That's a $24 million building with his name on it. And you know what? They need to rip that name off and they need to put her name on it, in my opinion. I'm just saying. Because the truth, what's done in the dark, is always going to come to light. And I will keep you guys informed about everything going on in the future. I encourage you guys to go over there and listen to the podcast. Yeah, they need to take that crap down now. Exactly, Pam. And they need to take this man's pension away. And I hope that when he goes to court that they take everything that he has worked 36 years to earn away from him. And they put his ass in jail where he belongs. Because this has to stop. Chico said, when we end qualified immunity and take their pensions guaranteed, they get their shit together. I agree. And I appreciate you guys joining me. I'm going to let you guys go. I know you probably have some other things to do. I need to go make some honey lemon tea for my throat. But we will be back and when AJ is available, and we are going to talk more about what's going on in this case. And as soon as we get some more updates, I will be bringing those to you. And I do have some more things that I want to talk to you about in the Scott Spivey case. We're still waiting on that FOIA to come in. And as soon as we get it, then I will give you the latest updates on that. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Please take the time to hit the like button and share this out, because the truth matters. And we've got to keep standing up for what's right. What's done in the dark will always come to light. Stay safe out there, guys. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care, guys.